So you made your vegan cupcake or cake, you frosted it in this beautiful vegan buttercream, you are basking in your glory right now. And then after about 5 minutes of that, the whole thing starts to fall apart as the buttercream starts to melt and the whole thing slopes and slides. Why? If your vegan buttercream is falling apart, it's likely a problem with your recipe. So today on Ask a Vegan Baker, we're going to be talking about exactly what could be going wrong and how you can keep your vegan buttercream from completely falling apart by paying attention to 3 things: your base's melting point, the balance between wet and dry ingredients, and choosing between vegan butter and shortening. The eternal vegan buttercream conundrum. Let's do this. The first thing that could be going wrong with your vegan buttercream is that you're choosing a base that has a lower melting point, meaning it's going to start melting at a lower temperature. Different brands have different melting points and you need to find the right one for you. I mentioned in my butter replacements post that I use Earth Balance soy-free spread for everything. My favorite is Earth Balance soy-free spread. You can actually see that video up here. And I do events for 4 to 6 hours in the Florida sun with the Curious Cat Bakery and nothing melts to the point of falling apart. Not an ad, by the way, just like the thing, just like the brand. Possibility number 2 is that your balance between wet and dry ingredients is a little off. Like the name suggests, buttercream is basically just butter and sugar. And if you're not adding enough sugar, then your buttercream won't hold its shape for very long. And if you're adding some plant-based milk, if you're frosting a cake, for example, to make the buttercream more spreadable, that's nothing wrong with that, but you might be adding too much of it and making it too unstable in the process. You need to find that balance between your buttercream being spreadable, but not being too soft. Real quick sidebar, if you want that recipe for the perfect buttercream, I actually have it in one of my ebooks, Vegan Baking 101, and I'll make sure to put a link to that in the description below. That's it. Now back to your scheduled programming. Finally, when you're making vegan buttercream, you need to make the choice between vegan butter or shortening. I'm not a huge fan of shortening for buttercream, but if you're going to use it, use high ratio shortening. It's very stable and will not melt at all, even if you leave it out for hours. It's ideal for doing buttercream decorations like flowers and leaves because of that. Just make sure you add some vanilla extract to that, otherwise it's gonna taste really funky. So there you go. If your vegan buttercream is falling apart, it's not because it's vegan, it's because your recipe is off. But as long as you choose the right kind of base, whether that's vegan butter or shortening, and you have the right balance between plant milk and sugar, your vegan buttercream should be stable, spreadable, and delicious. I hope this answers your question. If it did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'll make sure to put some more resources in the details below. And if you have any vegan baking questions, send them my way. I love to answer them, so put them in the comments below. In the meantime, keep baking and stay curious.